I like big butts and I cannot lie. Other brothers can't deny. And when a girl
Damn. We almost missed it. I was late. You caught me. I was running out in the middle of a thunderstorm to go grab my my remaining stash IPA. The only shot I have here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit wide. I'm gonna tap dance for just a little bit, guys. Just a little bit. We got Justin's gonna be joining us in just a moment after. Oh, there it is. Hey, that's close enough. There we go. Oh, that's still very zoomed in. Justin is wrapping up on Daily Tech News Show, and he'll be joining us. Also going to be joining us, one Bryce Castillo. Oh, look at that. Hey. But for the meantime, it's me, yours truly, flying solo, Brian Brushwood, for the Night Attack Happy Hour, which I got to admit, I'm really, really stoked. I didn't know how it would be received for us to just be dumping all that stuff, whole cloth, into the main feed. My sort of cynical vibe was like, if you don't like it, don't look at it. Pretend it's pornography, kind of like the rest of our show. But to my delight, I've been seeing all the tweets from people just sort of saying that they've missed the, I don't know, low-key, low-energy vibe, and that has me totally stoked, man. So I guess for right now, it's just you and me. So let me fix my shot. There we go. Hey, man, I ain't no Bryce Castillo, but I can get close enough. So I guess until joining us live in studio shortly will be one Bryce Castillo. And, of course, Justin Robert Young will call in as soon as he's done with Daily Tech News Show. Apologize for the fact that I'm soaking wet. But why don't we do Q&As with you guys from the chat? That's something that we don't normally get to do. That's, as a matter of fact, we're about to do a Scam Nation episode. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, joining us live in studio, live and direct through the thunderstorms, braving inclement weather, one Bryce Neshcom Castillo. Here, let me see if I can find a two-shot of the two of us.
Sure.
This is as close as I got right now.
Okay.
We'll checkerboard that.
Can you turn that TV on?
Yeah, these aren't even on. Look at that. Here, I'll do that. And
Ooh, sorry about that.
Turn on all of these? What do you do? Sure, I'll just press a bunch of buttons.
Yeah,
we'll see what
that's
happens.
Fine. How's it going? How's the happy hour?
So far, so good. I started
right?
1 minute late, and that's one thing. Like, since we're doing actual, timed live events, it sort of matters showing up on time.
Yeah.
Oh, good, you did bring something.
I did bring something.
Hey, man, take a look at that right there. Joining us in studio, live audience for the happy hour.
Great.
Kyle Brown, security consultant extraordinaire.
That's fantastic. Did you show it?
No, I've not shown it. Look at that.
Look at that. Can you take a full screen?
Let me see if I got a shot of the full screen. I got. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Look at that.
Look at that.
That was drawn from a cell phone picture on using the pen of greatness.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you got your new glasses. That's fantastic, dude.
Yeah, no, I could tell it was a recent shot. He was doing one for Murphy, and then the pen of greatness broke.
Oh no!
which turned out to be kind of a panicked known issue because we made that claim of like we'll replace it forever and ever.
Right.
And then when you find out that of that first batch of 1,000, a significant number of them had insufficient glue on the ferrule in the middle.
Oh yeah,
so
I saw reports about that. Yeah.
So there's this brief moment that I'm like, well, send him replacements. And then there was this freeze moment where David I don't know that the replacements are going to be. We don't have enough data just
if
yet.
they'll even be fixed.
Yeah, exactly. But luckily we found out, number one, what was wrong. Number two, that it was easy fix that we could repair ourselves.
Oh, cool.
So anyone who sent it in, we could just send them a replacement, and then we could refurb it ourselves.
Yeah.
But there was a tight second.
Yeah, it was like
it's like, my God, what have I done?
Because I would see the Reddit post. Someone was like, "Oh yeah, my thing, there's not a screw thing. The thing's not working right."
Right.
And I saw like, okay, that happened. That's gonna happen, right? So and then I saw another one, and I would see some reports on Discord. I was like, ooh,
yeah.
I'm gonna let
the good news is everything's fine now. Number one, because we had to order another batch of. Like, to stay ahead of the orders, we got 2,000 coming in probably right now. They're probably shipping them out right now at the warehouse. But more importantly, we can, since it's a known issue, that's a very easy fix. Just a dab of super glue in the right spot, and they'll fix it. So,
Very cool.
But that definitely had us a bit panicked. Also, I don't know if production talk.
Hey.
I closed that off like 2/3,
Uh-huh.
and I love it. It's like
Really?
when you see this shot, it looks a little bit more dramatic. It looks a little less like we're doing a proper news program and more like I'm about to deliver a sinister speech.
Yeah.
But it makes you with that gel that you put on in the back. It makes your body pop from that background.
So I'm popping it from the back. Yeah, the reason I kind of kept it a little more even is because I didn't want it to look too dramatic. Because you're right, it definitely does have between like the backlight coming from this side and the front light coming from, or the front fill light coming from this side, it creates a nice dramatic sort of shadow in the center there. But this actually looks pretty good now.
Yeah, I like it too, especially because like as I get, man. So my dad worships the sun, right? He's a nudist and he tans all the time.
Oh, gotcha.
And I guess basically whatever your base color is, you just become more of it. And I'm very white, which means when I tan, I eventually pink. And I look at my dad, who's in his 70 now, and it's like he looks like a Native American, like
he's got a lot of
sunburned
tan to him.
Native American, right? And it's like I'm not thrilled that I'm headed that way, because like when I take my shirt off, there's definitely this farmer's tan collar, and it's like everything is white like I remember it below, but everything exposed to the sun, just a little more close to my dad's tone than I'd like. So as a result, when I
considered going to like a tanning booth?
What's that?
Have you considered going to like a tanning booth?
I have, but I'm a little bit afraid of having that Trump syndrome of looking like I got raccoon eyes and I'm hiding something. And granted, I would be hiding something, and I would have raccoon eyes.
And also, you wouldn't need to do it as dramatic as say the president.
Well, but also,
I think he probably, well, I don't know. His color is so weird that you almost think that there's like lotioning.
My dad?
No.
No Trump. Okay. Well, and that's the funny thing is Beef Viper in the chat is saying like, yeah, man, get back to pale and pasty. That's where it's at. And the funny part is I don't necessarily want to be pale and pasty.
Right.
It's just I don't think I can handle being as cartoonishly red as my dad is. Oh, I didn't say that. As very, very, very tan pink. But interesting situation. Okay. So you remember we did the shoot where we had a combat veteran shoot firearms at a bulletproof vest.
That's right. Yes,
a bullet-resistant vest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is a super fan of the Monorail, Kyle.
Yes.
Who is here in studio right now.
He's not going to shoot me, is he?
No.
I don't know if we have that bulletproof vest
last night, he was like, hey, man, I'm off work. Are you over at HQ? I can give you this piece of art, and we can swap out those pens. I was like, well, the pens are over at the warehouse. Oh, we got a call. Oh. There we go.
Is that Justin Robert Young?
Ladies and gentlemen. Justin.
I just left a job where I was a news person, and now I'm going to pee on the floor.
We were just talking, Justin. First of all, Bryce, show Justin Kyle's fan art that is super rad.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
wow,
right?
Who's that guy?
It's, all done with the ballpoint pen, so it's recent and up to date. But we were talking about Kyle, the guy who drew this, who is going to appear on an upcoming episode of Modern Rogue. By text, he was saying, "Hey, it's 4:00. Are you at HQ?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I got to do NA happy hour." And then only after we finished did I see his response text of what's NA, and my brain just went a little bit. And so I suddenly realized that man, everything really is so siloed that somebody could be a fan of one thing and not even know there's another matrix out there.
Yeah, I expect that, like, because we're gonna do this game. I don't know if you can talk much about the Scam Nation stream. That's
we should talk about that.
7:00 Central.
7:00 Central tonight.
Scamnation.com.
Can we dual live stream on? We should just.
We actually
direct.
cannot.
Okay, so we'll direct everybody to. We would love it if you guys would join us in the YouTube live chat.
Everyone who has asked us about our equipment setup, like, this is gonna be it. We're gonna be talking a lot about it and other stuff, like a lot of the magic stuff, tricks and effects that you can do.
To be honest, I think like so many people have asked for a proper tour and breakdown of our whole system and workflow that I mean, we could talk a bit about magic, and that'll certainly be the hook that we do for it.
Mhm.
But really, I don't mind it. The star of the show kind of being just the tech walkthrough of everything,
Okay.
because the last one of these I did, I think, was in 2016 back at the old place. I don't think we've really done this, and so that'd be fun.
Yeah, we got a lot. We
Yeah.
got a lot written. So
Oh, speaking of which, I accidentally stole
Nation Duck.
your notes and then
okay.
found them in my pocket
Oh,
and then brought them back. I didn't mean to do
Found your notes.
that. Your views are repugnant. Oh, so how many podcasts today, Justin?
Oh crap, Brian! You want to know what? Shit on my lunch. I did PX3 Extra. I did DTNS. I did a 2-hour politics stream. And then other than that, I ordered Taco Bell. I ate that Taco Bell.
Nice.
And in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna stop in the middle of
Taco Bell.
sentence.
All right. What was your Taco Bell order? Do not tell me how much it was. We're gonna guess how much your Taco Bell order
Oh man,
was.
I'm the king of this game. Tell me what you got.
What you got? Don't tell us how much it was.
All right, I'm gonna try to remember. I can look it up exactly if you'd like.
Yeah, pull it up. Because
All
we're
right.
gonna
Let's
guess how much it cost.
Also,
All right, I'll tell you
hey,
off the top of my head what I got.
Okay.
I got 2 burrito supremes and 5 tacos. Because I want to save Taco Bell for whatever reason, something that I enjoy eating cold.
no way.
But then
Taco Bell cold is garbage, and the only thing worse than Taco Bell cold is Taco Bell reheated in a microwave.
I bet
Like
bet
it
if you
transforms
if you oven
into a
reheated it, it might
boglin.
be okay, but yeah, I wouldn't want it cold.
Ugh.
you want to know what it is? It's one of those weird memories that a buddy of mine, he had like a fairly big family, and so the dad on Sundays would just get 100 tacos from Taco Bell. It was like like $30, and you just get 100. You have to call it in like an hour beforehand, and boom, 100 tacos shows up. So every once in a while I go over there, but then more than that, we would alternate driving to school. So sometimes I would go over to his place, and his parents would drive us to school. But that meant that there were always, especially on Mondays and Tuesdays, cold ass Taco Bell tacos, and I remember liking them. And so I know that it's probably gross, but for whatever reason, nostalgia carries my taste buds the rest of the way.
Have you guys dabbled in? They used to have just mild, regular, and hot on the hot sauces, but now they got is it Diablo? Am I remembering that right?
I think there is Diablo.
Have you guys tried that?
No.
I'm not a fan because it's not really hot. It's not any hotter. It's like a different flavor to it.
Yeah, it's got like a smokier flavor, so it's not necessarily hot, but it is smoky. Tell you what, though, man, you do you do 3/4 of that hot packet and then 3/4 of that Diablo. Mwah, chef's kiss.
Oh, dude. Number one, Mitsula in the chat says Stoner Justin woke up with cold tacos in his bed on more than one occasion. Oh, no. Stoner Justin never left a cold taco in bed. Stoner Justin.
If there was a
consumed
taco in
and
bed with him,
all
it was
tacos.
very warm from having been cuddled with all night.
Exactly. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
All right,
Are
give
you
us
ready
the
for
order.
this?
Give us the order.
3 bean burritos,
Okay.
2 burrito supremes, 1 crunch wrap supreme, and 5 crunchy tacos.
5 crunchies. Well,
And also, I added jalapeno peppers to the burrito supremes.
I'm gonna say now, is there any delivery fee?
Well, we can do the
Let's do it
subtotal.
pre-feed.
Yeah,
We can do-
yeah. No delivery
Pre-feeds.
fee, and that's after
After tax.
California sales tax. However, that's less than Texas.
No.
sales tax.
This would be before taxes and fees.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm gonna
and
say $9. I'm gonna say 9.11. My vote is 9.11.
I'm gonna say
$9.11.
Yes, my vote is for the bluest of skies.
$15.50. $15.50. $15.50. 1550.
I'm going to give you both.
Hold on.
another-
In studio.
studio, Kevin?
Are we both over?
We're both over?
No, I'm going to give you guys both another crack at this because you're both under.
Yeah. 9 is way too cheap for like 11 items plus add-on.
Yeah, but they're like 78 cents a pop or on tacos.
Just
How much are the
but
tacos?
he got a lot of burritos in there too.
Yeah,
and the tacos
burritos.
are like $1 now. The tacos are like $1.
Ugh. Oh man, old man Brian.
I'd say
I remember protesting. It used to be $59, $79, $99.
Yeah.
And then
not that price.
they raised the price. I showed up with like pictures of aborted fetuses. Started screaming.
We want to eat this. We want to eat this.
Expand your menu, you prudes.
All right, then I'm gonna say $22.30.
I can't. I'd like to still believe in a world where that would be only $18.50.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you both another shot at this.
Really?
You're
The fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, you go first this time.
I gave $75 apparently.
I'm gonna say $32.10.
Oh, please don't let that be true.
Bryce wins.
Yeah.
$32.75.
Wow.
Holy
I feel like I have to pull out $500 and hand it to you live on stage for being so close.
Wow, for 11 items. Man,
That-
a lot of burritos in there.
But
Were there
five
drinks?
of them were tacos.
No drinks.
And no
Tacos,
drinks.
crispy tacos should be free.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, oh, it should be free. All right, Bernie Sanders. The tacos by themselves are $9.75. The green burritos were $5.85. The burrito supremes, both of them were 11. It's the crunch wrap that really is the only like big ticket item. That's $6.15.
Wow.
People in the chat are shouting, "Fucking communist Brushwood over here!" No wonder he's pinko.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm once again asking for you to give me a free taco.
We've had this discussion time and time again. I'm not paying a cent. Over 99% of the price.
Oh.
Man, what are you gonna do, Brian? Actually, I've enjoyed the last few times. Do you want to do a little bit more entertainment news?
Yeah, but before we do, you know what was entertainment to me? Hey, what day of the month is today? Is it the first day, the second day, the third day? Which one?
The third? Is it the third? I hope it's the third.
Definitely the second day of the month.
Jesus.
we got a lot.
Today is
And
so
look-
weird.
By the way, we are still under federal guidelines to stay at home, and it goes to the end of the month, so that's at least 80 to 90 days from where we are right now.
So guess where I am 48 hours into the new Hearthstone ladder. New Hearthstone ladder, if you missed it, there's
5 leagues.
bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and then you hit legend, and there's 10 ranks in each. Where do you think I'm at? 48 hours into the month.
I tuned into your stream yesterday, so I think I have a better idea. So Justin should guess first.
Okay.
Well, we left it yesterday with you at platinum, right? So
Yeah.
I would say that
Rank
it's probably
5 platinum.
the only one above platinum.
I might say you're in diamond only because you've been close to legend before.
Yeah, I'm at rank 8 diamond, and
Okay.
so now
Is 8 low or 8 high?
8. So it's like golf. You
Right,
like
okay,
think
so
about
it's like-
rank. Like if you're number 1, you're the best,
Gotcha.
right? So I'm at rank 8, and there's only 3 stars per rank, I believe. God, I hope that's the case. All of them have been 3 stars per rank so far, so I hope that continues to be the case.
Yeah.
In which case, like theoretically, I'm only 20 something games away from hitting legend again by day 2.
But I bet
Diamond rank 8. That sounds grand.
how grand.
Super grand.
This is the part of the show where we talk about Hearthstone.
All right. I got some entertainment news for you, Brian.
All right, hit me up.
Break it off.
Tiger King. You ever heard of it?
Yeah, a little bit. By the way, the Reddit subreddit on Magic blowing up with pictures of Joe Exotic in his Magic days, producing birds and whatnot.
Almost everybody from the documentary, except Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin, are currently on Cameo.
Yes.
No
Yes!
way.
I saw the cameo of, is it Doc Ansel? Is
Yeah,
the-
Antle.
The
Antle.
Bhagavan Doc Antle, yes.
who was speaking some real communism talk in one of these cameos.
Wait, like sharing your wife? Like, it's not fair that not everybody can have sex with any wife they want. Everybody should have everybody's wife. It's me.
Wider eyes, Brian. You have to look dead on in the camera and open your eyes as wide as possible.
I'm trying to do this mashup of Doc Antle and Bernie Sanders.
Doc Sanders.
So yeah, John Finley, the tattooed ex-husband of Joe Exotic, will show off his gator-style chompers for $75. For $50, you can get some libertarian consultation from former Walmart ammunition clerk turned political campaign
Advisor, yeah.
style. And Doc Antle will also give you a shout out from on top of a elephant. Meanwhile, Jeff Lowe, the villain to Joe Exotic at the end, he begins his cameo video with Carol Did It.
Wow.
Oh my God!
It was Jeff Lowe. It was Jeff Lowe, the cameo that I saw, I think. The communism one or the socialism one. I think that was who
Oh, it wasn't Doc Antle?
No, I don't think it was Doc Antle. I
I would imagine that he's very. I mean, he's literally running a commune. Doc Antle is, so I'd imagine he's a bit communist.
Wow.
You know who else is doing cameo?
Who's doing cameo?
Jeff Brian Davis.
Oh, look at that!
Formerly of Harmontown.
Formerly of Harmontown, and
Have they started a new thing yet?
you know what? They tend to do live audiences, and it seemed like they were right around the time that they were going to get started.
What did Dan Harmon know? Hashtag what did Dan Harmon know?
Yeah, dude, that dude pieced out at just the right moment. He's like,
Fucking
we feed
Dan
on live
Harmon.
energy.
Yeah, Dan Harmon, Bob Iger. Like, we got questions for all of these fuckers. Like, everybody who pieced out right in January. I got questions for all of them.
Number one, where is your time machine? And can I borrow it just for 20 minutes?
Some sad news in the gaming world. Did you guys see this?
Oh, yeah. No, I just saw it in the chat.
The Last of Us
The Last
2
of Us.
indefinitely delayed.
Now, the game's got to be...
Video Games with Price, the newsletter.
The game's got to be pretty much done.
Supposedly, it is almost done. They were on track to release it in May, but they had not
but then
gone gold.
everybody had to go home,
Right,
and
they hadn't
nobody
gone
could.
gold.
Oh, okay.
There's still bugs. They're still doing QA. They're probably still doing cert, and
It's too bad because like the market is ready for some Last of Us.
Well, I think the story that's happening now, or I guess the subtext of the story, is that they could probably get the game done and get it tested and get it done through cert, but manufacturing and actually having retail sales are obliterated right now. And there are
so in other
contracts.
words, what you're saying is, fuck you to everyone who's given shit to GameStop. All of you are personally responsible for The Last of Us not coming out because you motherfuckers shut down GameStop.
I mean, I'm gonna be playing Doom on Friday, not The Last of Us Part 2. I'll tell you that. But it's important because there are like a lot of, my understanding is that a lot of the contracts with the game development, especially first party Sony stuff like that, you have to have physical and digital at the same day. Square Enix is having a huge deal right now because people are receiving copies of Final Fantasy VII Remake, a game that does not come out until April 10th. They're already receiving their copies early.
And everybody's melting down. It's like, no, it's supposed to be.
And so, like on Twitch, I was watching someone on Twitch. I watched this happen in real time. Someone was pulling up the game. He had just received the game, and all of his chat goes, "You can't stream this. You can't stream this. They will suspend your channel because they won't let anybody play more than what the demo is until the game comes out in April." And so he like immediately shut down his stream.
Oh.
But it's you know, if you lose the story, those are big story games, and if the story gets out there, you're gonna lose all those sales.
Yeah.
Yes. A big, expensive game like The Last of Us, a game that's been in development for, what, 6-7 years?
Man, I'm not going to lie. There's a decent chance that if I watched somebody play The Last of Us, I would suddenly not feel the need to run out and spend $60 to experience it for myself.
Really?
Yeah. And I wouldn't have said that a year or two ago.
Is that
But like
is that
since
kind
then-
of an indictment of the gameplay?
No. It's a celebration of how good the story is. It's the fact that the story is the majority of the experience. I mean, we talked on the Weird Things podcast about how I sat there with Penny and Josie, and we spent like 3 or 4 hours watching the story of BioShock Infinite because Penny didn't want to watch all the violent gameplay parts and just wanted the cool story.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, this is me coming as a Philistine into the world of video games, the bright, shiny ziggurats of the video game community. So I don't. I guess I would assume that you would want that immersing yourself in that experience was the real driver.
I will say on the flip side of things, I enjoyed playing Half-Life Alyx so much that I think I'm going to buy that new Valve system.
The Index.
Yeah, with the knuckles and everything on there.
Really?
Yeah, for the just to re-experience it in a higher fidelity. And also because it sounds like it's going to be at least a year and change before anything's going to be better than that. And also... our shit's kind of broken.
Oh, is it?
well, the thumb pads don't track very well, and this one uses the thumb pads more than other ones. And like it's old enough that you have to do a workaround in order to get the haptic feedback when you're touching things or whatever. So,
but just like movies, like video games rely on like pre-orders and day one and first week sales. Like there was a story yesterday night about Gearbox. Have you seen other stuff about Gearbox?
What's the latest?
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, they're a little people are cheesed off, Brian, in Frisco, Texas.
So a big part of Gearbox's recruiting policy is like, hey, we pay lower than market rate, but you get profit sharing on our games. And they made quote unquote promises that those profit shares tend to be 5 and 6 digit sums. And with the new Borderlands 3 that came out last year and is just out on Steam. Randy Pitchford, I guess, in a meeting with development said, hey, those bonuses are not going to be what we thought they were because our sales estimates were off.
Man, how is it that video games are lagging behind Hollywood math so far that nobody caught on to the fact that profit sharing equals you get bupkis, my friend?
Well, and there's a lot at play there, right? Borderlands 3 came out on Epic Game Store for a year before it came on Steam at a time when especially at a time when everyone hated the Epic Game Store. That game had been in development for 6+ years. It had been an expensive game to make. They changed engines midway through. And so not only was it long, it also, was expensive to make. And it's on a recoupment model like a record label deal. So only now is Take-Two finally hitting profitability on Borderlands. But that's why because it's so late after the game has come out that they're not seeing the big boost that they did with, say, Borderlands 2.
Yeah, and so the thing I was reading yesterday, the big issue here is that was apparently a selling point for a lot of people to come into the company to begin with, is that those big like profit sharing checks have been 5 to 6 figures for certain people. So it's like the big pitch is like, all right, look, live in your apartment, but when this check comes in after a Borderlands, specifically, you're gonna want to be on the boat for when those checks get passed out, because that's when people buy houses, right?
Yeah. They explicitly said that in their recruiting. Like, people buy houses with their bonuses on these games, with their residuals.
And so now, I guess it was partly over expansion and partly the way that they had structured their deals. But they're like, yeah, this money, they ain't as much of it as we thought.
Yeah. And, like, I'm of two minds of it, because, like, that's the danger of a profit sharing plan.
Oh, shoot. Are we going to go to 4 people in this happy hour?
We got,
Here, pull up a chair. Yeah, no, you. That's ladies and gentlemen, Bonnie the Invisible Wife just showed up.
Ronnie's here.
I just never see you because she's always invisible. Bonnie's gonna pull up a chair here. We talked some video game talk. Hey Bonnie, guess what? Guess who hit diamond on Hearthstone?
You did?
Man, it's such a
Oh
loaded
wait,
thing.
diamond's not the cool one though, right?
It's just
no,
short
no.
of legend.
It's just short.
Okay.
Yeah, next up is legend. But I always feel guilty bragging to Bonnie because I can't help but wonder how much she's judging my productivity.
I mean,
a lot.
I did, wipe down all the surfaces, and what else did I took the trash out for you today.
I mean,
And then I put the containers up, even though they were empty when you left. And let me see.
we were talking last night, confessing that man, when you don't have to take kids to school and they just stay in their rooms playing Animal Crossing all day, like this is about like the third week of summer vacation. There's there's a little more free time because I don't think I'm accomplishing less than I normally do. It's just that 3.5 hours of driving isn't happening.
Yes, that's awesome. So that means I get 3 hours.
That's crazy because this would be the time where you would want to be driving, right? Because there's nobody on the roads. Like if you were ever going to have to drive your kids around, now would be the time where you could do donuts on the moped.
Yeah, I have been getting here faster than ever before. And it's not like, I mean, I already drive at off-peak hours, but I drove here, 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock when it should have started to get busy. And it was smooth sailing all the way through.
Oh, by the way, are you guys aware of? I saw that Austin was kind of at the center of a big controversy because a bunch of rich kids went to Mexico and came back with the Rona.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
I mean,
it's like 24 positive on a plane ride from Mexico.
I wonder why that story caught fire because, kids go traveling, bring back disease doesn't seem like such an extraordinary thing.
No, it has all. Come on, it has all of the things you want, right?
Do they get checked for herpes?
Privilege. Yeah, youth, privilege. They went to the place. It's a chartered plane, right? And they're going to the place that you would stereotypically think the young idiot rich kid would go to, right? It was a Cabo or Puerto Vallarta or something like that. And
just
then
the
they
timing.
come back and they are punished, right? God punishes the idiot kids with the coronavirus, and now they've ruined Thanksgiving because they showed up with the Rona while everybody else is trying to stay indoors.
Yeah, we actually just had our first case internally of Corey was going to be here, and then just sort of said,
concerned.
Well, he's concerned because he had a relative who he saw last week who appears to have a fever. So it's it's only on the fringes. Oh, excuse me, I have to cough.
Oh,
No.
God.
No.
This is going to be like that NBA guy who was touching all the mics before and then a day later was tested positive.
Exactly. No, our idiot savior, Rudy Gobert. If Rudy Gobert didn't get sick, it wasn't such an asshole about it, then they probably wouldn't have canceled the NBA so fast. And that was like the first major pop culture domino to fall that like just led everything to kind of get shut down. So yeah, there's an argument that Rudy Gobert, we should all praise him as our idiot savior.
So yeah, man, we made it really long
so
time
the
before
guy
we
you
started
were
talking
playing-
about the apocalypse.
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
Yeah. Wait, how did that happen?
Justin, I blame Justin.
I'll take it. I'm spreading it, kind of like a virus. Anyway.
Oh,
Bonnie-
hey, there is something I wanted to chime in on because we hadn't talked about it on the feed. We sort of started dumping all these happy hours on the feed. We weren't sure how they would be received.
Got a
So
couple of good
far,
tweets today.
yeah, so far, bunch of thank yous. Like, hey, this is fun. It reminds me of hanging out with you guys, and so that makes me feel pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll keep putting it out. But if people want it, I mean, I think right now podcasting is weird. I haven't done my numbers for March, but I had heard in general that podcasting listenership is down. I don't know if that's the same for us or for my politics stuff, but I do know that some people just are bored.
Yeah.
Right? It might
No,
be
dude,
over.
Twitch-
I think some people are pumped to just have content.
Twitch viewership across the board. I've never seen every show, every stream that I sort of am familiar with the baseline has been higher than the baseline. Everybody
It's
seems hungry
interesting
for that Twitch.
Because podcasting is down because people are driving less.
Yeah,
It is almost, I would say it is almost 90% entirely because people are driving less.
yeah, that tracks.
But then, YouTube and Twitch, where people are at home and they don't need to have to sort of, weighing themselves down to audio only.
We talked about this with on Monday with Tom. He was saying that the big thing for him is normally Eileen is not there, so he gets up in the morning, makes himself some food, listens to some podcasts, does his twiddling around, but then he instead he gets up to go eat, and then there's Eileen, and so he talks to her. So that's eating into all of his
wives.
podcasting. Consummation time.
Am I right? These wives, man. I was trying to get around doing my podcasting, and next thing you know, my wife walks in. She's like, "Hey, what do you want to order from Taco Bell?" And I'm like, "Wives."
And then I respond, "This conversation brought to you by Squarespace. Head on over for a free trial and get 20% off your first
by the
off."
way, have you noticed that just advertising's gone? Like even on like big podcasts that I've listened to, like there's a lot less advertising than there used to be. At least by my anecdotal look.
It seems like advertising's been pretty fine. Possibly even better.
I
Oh, really?
I think they're probably, but for podcasting, it might be different than say for YouTube.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, just weaker markets.
Yeah, it could be. Well, I think in any kind of shuffle, you have players who suddenly realize, oh, now is the time to expand into this market or that market. And,
Right.
you know.
And especially if you know, like for our ad stuff, not to go into too much detail, but we have people look over our ads. And if people are working from home, if they're telecommuting, if there are fewer people working, that means that there's less inventory that they can go through at any one time.
Yeah.
So that could be a part of it as well.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, in general, I do know that for some markets, advertising, it's like business is down, right? So, or non-existent in some cases. And so like in general, advertising is down because there's just fewer people that have the kind of runway to do it. I would assume for YouTube, which is general internet-based, non-in-person, kind of stuff, then maybe that is the exception that proves the rule. But advertising is crazy. It's like it's crazy because if that goes away or is significantly hampered for a lot of sectors, then a lot of sectors just might go away. Like we just might see wholesale cuts to newspapers and blogs and even TV.
Yeah. I was thinking like we talked on Cord Killers a few weeks ago that almost every production has been shut down in terms of like Netflix originals or we talk about the talk shows and stuff, and it makes me think like we're probably going to start to see, especially on Netflix and Hulu, a swell of foreign language originals or licenses. So, licensing, hey, here's an old BBC show from 2016 that is now a Netflix original. It's now it's on, I think we're going to have to see a lot of that because there's going to be there's going to be a long tail on once productions start back up and shows can start getting finished.
We were also talking on Cord Killers about how it's possible that of all of the sectors, animation would be the least affected because that's one that people can more easily work from home. Maybe it'll go slower, but stuff. I mean, like they just they did that Rick and Morty. They did a Rick and Morty announcement yesterday, and everybody thought it was an April Fool's thing, and then it's the day after April Fool's, and they're like, wait, it's got an actual air date and everything.
Ah,
And like oh, no, what's happening?
Oh, just that. I think remember that writer's strike and how shitty TV was for a long time.
Yeah, didn't stop.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think that's about to turn around because what if people only have their keyboards and typewriters looking at them like, shame on you.
Sure.
You wrote that. You sort of wrote that episode. Shame on you. I feel like we're going to get good TV now.
Oh, because everybody's got time.
Well, they got the time and I mean, come on. They know they got the time.
What I heard on that front, because like pilot season's coming up, people are getting started on production for pilots. The thing that I had seen, and maybe Meryl Barr had tipped me off to this or not, is that a lot of studios that had ordered pilots but had not committed to seasons yet or series yet had been ordering like, hey, write us a second pilot script. Like just keep writing us scripts because scripts you can relatively do remotely. And they can't start production on a lot of stuff yet, or productions had to be suspended. And so we could see a very strong pilot season potentially if there's this longer noting period of these pilot scripts. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like an influx of like really novel storytelling. Somebody does a horror. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking of a Paranormal Activity kind of thing, where it's like it was a novel method of storytelling, entirely through cameras left on overnight, allegedly, or whatever. Like I think there could be some version of that hits us this fall.
Did you see? I didn't see it. I only knew that he was on James Corden, but apparently David Blaine did like a live TV special last night. Last night or
He
Tuesday?
did
A special,
Yeah,
a full
yeah,
special,
a new-
or just an
new-
appearance.
A full thing.
No, a new hour. Or at least I saw some of the clips from a classic of the Blaine specials is him doing magic for athletes in like the locker rooms and stuff like that. So I had one with the Bears and LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But that the best audience ever for close-up magic are super charismatic athletes who are just like they're always so angry that David Blaine gets them.
It's perfect too, because not only are they uniquely wonderful and skilled in their field of expertise, but they're so on top. They're so kings of their domains that they don't feel remotely threatened by the idea of being fooled by a magician. And so as a result, they give of themselves 100% in the moment, and they reward like, wow, that was genuinely amazing. That must be what it looks like to be a human watching me dunk, like like a normal person.
Yeah. And I found that out because I was looking up a little bit of the research for our stream coming up at 7:00 Central at scamnation.com. Because like the Elton John iHeartRadio thing that we reported on Cord Killers, that was almost all shot on iPhones. And I know that David Blaine's appearance on James Corden was a FaceTime call, and so I was trying to find if I could get more production.
It wasn't
information.
the iHeartRadio hit thing wasn't streamed. It was just
Some
shot.
of it was.
Oh, really?
Some of it was, yeah.
Huh.
But some of it was pre-recorded on iPhones as well. Like almost to hear, I think it was either Variety or the Hollywood Reporter had some info about it. But to hear them talk about it, almost all of that entire production was shot on iPhones.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did we lose you, Justin?
Did you see there? Oh, we might have lost him. His
running
connection was
running off to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Gonna spend another $78 or whatever the answer was.
What? At Taco Bell?
Yeah. We played Prices Right with it was what's the cost of 3 tacos? And the answer was $75.
HBO, breaking news, HBO is making 500 hours of programming available free, including The Sopranos, The Wire, Succession, Barry, Veep, and McMillions.
But you still have to make an account, I guess.
It says without a subscription. I know I can open up the HBO app without being logged in. It starts on Friday.
What?
For a limited
Okay.
time.
Wow.
Here you go. 5 full seasons. Ballers, Barry, Silicon Valley, 6 Feet Under. Ooh, Sopranos Succession. Oh, we're hearing myself back. Okay.
There we go. I'm gonna cancel
We'll get
Justin's call and call him back.
You started watching McMillions. How was that? Yeah, I heard you didn't like it, right?
it was have you watched it?
No.
Oh my God, I want you to watch it.
Okay.
Because I was able to handle like 2.5 episodes because it's genuinely one of the most interesting, fascinating true crime stories in the past 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
And yet somehow they managed to, if I was to ask of my 3 kids, my 7-year-old, hey, here's some things. There's a guy who's asking, we have 5 questions. Who did it? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And how? My 7-year-old might say, like, if I asked her, well, we have this footage and that's the beat. What should we do on the screen? Then she would say something like, well, maybe as he says each of those, you can have those words pop up next to him. And then it's like, okay, good. What about this other moment where somebody's recounting how he walked from one cubicle to another and saw something on a desk? He's like, well, then what you could do is you could hire an actor to pretend to be that guy and walk from one cubicle to the other. And then maybe the camera zooms in on what he saw on the desk. It is the laziest, most awful. It is antimatter to Tiger King. Tiger King is genuine and real and sucks you in and is dramatic and amazing. And
Which is funny 'cause-
McMillions is hot garbage from beginning to end. I hated every visual second of that show.
Because
Wait, okay. So I didn't know it was bad.
McMillions.
No,
You're saying it's bad?
I don't know. I couldn't get past 2.5 episodes of it.
So-
the story is amazing. amazing, and maybe that carries the day, but whoever directed the visuals for all that stuff got as far as the first suggestion in the focus group and just said, yes, that's what we should do. Whatever is the most obvious thing at every given moment, that's what we should do.
It's like 6 or 7 parts, right? Because it's like a series.
Yeah, no, I think it might be 8. It seems like it was certainly being pushed to me for a very long time.
I knew of that story before the show because I had seen it on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And I thought, how do you
stretch this?
How do you stretch it that long? It's not that
The
long of a
answer
story.
is-
They
Well,
did
no,
it.
no,
They
no,
You
really-
have a
it was-
detective
'cause-
saying things like, we needed to know who, when, what, where, and how. And then you take a big visual moment to put those words on the screen as he says it.
Because it was also one of those, like, it was a magazine article that really blew it up. Like, that kind of told the story and got everybody that needed to talk. But it's like, it's not a long magazine article. It's
I
not
was
like
about
it
to say-
took me like 2 days to read.
I mean,
it was pretty breezy.
Seems to me like a magazine article is about the duration that this story merits being told.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Because actually, initially, when the magazine came out, when the article came out, I think it was like Matt Damon or Ben Affleck had optioned it to do a movie, and I'm like, oh, this could be a really good movie because it's silly. These characters are a little bit larger than life. The main guy is a bit of a weirdo. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff there that you could like heighten. But I don't know about I don't know about 5 to 6 episodes of a documentary.
do me a favor,
Bryce, did you have a bit of a spill?
Tell me.
I had a spill. I'm
Tell
sorry.
me, what's funny is I was like, oh, let me save him. I'll go to the one shot. And I realized the one shot is just of you
It's
in
of
the
me.
spill. On
No,
your
don't worry
chest.
about it. I had a little bit of I got a little
Fine.
He's got a little spilleroonie.
Will you guys do me a favor? Like maybe the first, I remember the first episode not being bad, but by the second episode, I was very frustrated. And I would love to know if it's just me and I'm crazy or not.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
But meanwhile, I'll tell you what I'm digging is getting caught up on Ozark. Season 2 turns out is pretty good. And
I started season 3. I'm like 5 or 6 episodes into it. So
Yeah.
pretty good. And like I had forgotten a lot about season 2, and so season 3 is still very easy to watch. I'll say that.
season 2, if you told me on paper that they were going to add a kid to the cast, I'd be like, well, that's a sign that everything's about to be garbage. But the way they added that kid to that cast, kind of okay.
Wait to see what else they do with that kid.
Oh, jeez. Oh, don't kill me.
So, you were talking about the TV stuff.
Television, yeah.
Oh, we were talking about what TV later this year is going to look like
Oh, gosh.
with production having a heart attack.
I opened my mouth because it was right there, and then I forgot. So I don't know. There was. Oh, I do know.
So what we need to know is what was Bonnie thinking?
Yeah,
When
what
was she
was Bonnie-
thinking
Now,
it?
I
How
got
was
it.
she thinking it? And
Where?
where?
We walk over to Bonnie's brain and look inside, and what do we see?
Zoom.
Zoom right in there.
Your
And
brain
we-
blast like fucking Jimmy Neutron into her ear.
Yeah, no, we see the unforgettable image that Justin tweeted out with like some mayor or governor with nipple piercings.
Oh, Cuomo.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah. Andrew Cuomo's got pierced nips.
Break it down, because what you were telling me the other day was that he has double nips.
Yeah.
Is that right? But
Double pierced nips.
double,
All right, so-
doubled and pierced? Pierced
Y'all
doubled?
ever heard?
What?
Y'all ever heard of New York City?
Oh,
I'm familiar by reputation.
All right, so that's in a state called New York, and the governor of that state is Andrew Cuomo. And there was this moment, and obviously this coronavirus thing is happening, so he's given all these big gubernatorial like press conferences, alerting everybody what's
More
happening.
like gubernatorial. Take that. Peanuts.
But
his
the
ass.
the one thing that people kept fixating on was that it looked like through his white polo t-shirt that his nipples had 3 bumps that looked like barbells going through his nips. And so there was a very industrious young woman who put together an exhaustive investigative journey on Twitter that highlighted not only other pictures of him in that same polo with no bumps, the unfeasibility of it being a mic or a bulletproof vest, and then because all crimes need a motive. Why would he, an elder man, get pierced nipples? Well, last year he split with his girlfriend of 16 years.
Yep, that'll do it.
That might mean he's into a little something that involves getting them pierced nips.
I'm reading the thread here. These photos look conclusive. Carrick Poe on Twitter.
Oh Christ! No, that's definitely here. Hold on.
Look, you're breaching.
I gotta
protocol
wash. I gotta
there,
wash hands
freshman.
afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
Man, it really does look like he's wearing like 2 mics, 5 mics.
On his nipples?
No, okay. What is the barbell?
What do we have to
that's on
hear
the bottom
from
of
there?
his titty?
So if you go further down the thread, they show some photos of like
Down the
cross
rabbit
style. I'm just going to show you from
Yeah.
far here because you can see it from this far.
Okay, so here we go. Boom. Oh,
it's a
that
cross
does
style.
track.
Yeah.
Bonnie can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is somebody
And
else's.
then she actually, yeah, that's somebody else's. She actually goes in and starts looking at, I mean, I guess just searching for the older demographic of the older pierced nipples demographic to see how pierced nipples hang on an older gentleman as opposed to a young virile pierced nipple.
Did you see there was I don't know, somebody in the chat will have to find it so I can show it to you guys, but there was something on it was on that that subreddit that's UNCBBH whatever, the one that's chicks doing cool
I
things.
didn't click because it was a woman, but I did click and there was a woman, and
But
that
it's
it
still
made me
awesome,
feel
even though,
good.
yeah, but it has nothing to do with it being a woman. Yeah,
Something like that.
In that subreddit, there is a video file that for all the world looks like a woman's bare breast, and then you click play, and the nipple on the bare breast expands into finger-like tendrils, and then the perspective shifts, and you realize what you were seeing was a crossed folded bare leg with the toe barely sticking out. And so it just was an optical illusion, and it blew my mind, and I showed it to Bonnie. She didn't like it.
Well, no, I gotta say, this is it was fun. Like, you're like, why am I looking at a tit? And then it gets really freaking weird. And then I'm just like, you know what's so successful about this is that it's like, ooh la la,
It begins sexy.
ooh, and then you realize what it is, and you're like, oh no, that's still sexy, because you see like the
Those are
you
nice
see the like
legs.
pretty legs, you know. So you're like,
Yeah.
well, that's sexy. So it goes from like sexy, not sexy, sexy. So it's a surprise. I think it was funny.
It's probably the same experience as like because we've seen clips where like guys will try to make catfishing profiles, and so they'll use like their butt to make it look like cleavage.
Yes.
Oh,
You know, stuff like that.
oh, there's this one chick on my feed that is in the like mom's group area, so she's not listening to this. But
Yeah, let her have it.
oh my gosh,
Sass 'em up.
I mean, okay, isolation has increased her cleavage photos. It is like every photo is really centered on the you know, squished up boob
A
things.
saturation of thirst trap posting.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean-
Look, she's gonna live off them likes.
I think so. And then like I'm just waiting for her to start drawing arrows on it to her cleavage, you know, just to make sure you don't miss it.
You
or
won't
something.
believe which titty I showed on TikTok, and that's the thing now.
Spoiler.
That's
It was both.
It was both.
But then the next post is what she's doing with her kids, but it still involves the cleavage, right? So I was just like, anyways, just a little weird.
There was a very good tweet just on a similar thread. This is very tangential, so don't read. But
Yeah.
there was a very similar tweet that I saw that was very funny. That was like, my kid has been at home so long, they are now calling sweatpants soft pants and jeans hard pants.
I love it.
Not wrong.
You're right. You're right. Oh my God. That's so funny. Well, the other thing along that note with the the moms and the boobs.
The moms and the boobs.
Moms and
yeah.
boobs.
Yeah.
I did it
Titillating
again.
content.
I got started and then
the
I was like,
silver spoon, little boy blue, and the man on the moon.
When you gonna wear this? I said I don't know when. I'll be drunk again.
oh, okay. That reminds me. I'll be drunk again. That is perfect, Brian. You brought my brain back to it. Is that all these kids, like they're doing these little posts, and then the boys are showing up shirtless. Like, so they eat their breakfast, they got their breakfast cereal, and then they're like posting to their school friends
Without
Like,
a shirt.
without a shirt
And
on.
you're just mad because our kid got in trouble for taking off her shirt at school.
I mean, you're not
She
wrong.
also got
I mean, it
got
is a
sent
double
back home
standard.
for showing up with a beard. Boy, man, fucking try that nowadays, school.
Yeah.
For Crazy Hair Day, we took that same stipple, the fake hobo beard stuff.
Okay.
And we gave Penny a badass beard
Jesus
for Crazy
beard.
Hair
She
Day.
looked like Jesus.
And
Long
they
hair.
sent her back home
Seriously?
because it was inappropriate.
They didn't even just like ask her to remove it?
Or
no,
no,
refused to remove
they
it?
full on sent her home, and man, I guess it's a real sign of I mean, that must have been 7-8 years ago. Like, fucking try that today. Come at me, bro.
Very weird.
Yeah,
Very,
no,
but
they
it's still
were-
double standard.
They were like super shaming about it too. They're like, why would you let your daughter do this? And
It's
like,
literally
one who did
Crazy
it.
Hair Day.
I'm the
It's
one who put it on.
literally-
She won.
I know. She was amazing. And then like half the people that saw her was like, that's amazing.
Whiskey Wolf in the chat says, LMAO, you could own that school now if they did that today.
Oh, I know. But the other thing that got her in trouble, like a couple years later, was the science teacher was really leaning into the stereotypes. No, it was science and math. Like she taught both science and math, and then she was leaning into the by saying like math and science aren't necessarily boy subjects.
She was leaning into the boy-girl dynamic, and then she said something along the lines of, "I'm more like a boy," or "I'm like," or "I'm a boy," or something like that.
I've always been into boy stuff. Like I like Legos, and I like math, and I like
And then
science, and I
Penny,
like
in the single digits, I believe, of age, is
Yeah.
like, "Oh, so you're like a trans person." And then suddenly was in the office for
Oh my
saying that to a
gosh.
teacher.
Weird.
Isn't that wild?
And like seriously, like written up about it and stuff. Like it wasn't just like oh, and apparently like how much you get in trouble is how mad your teacher is, not like by actual severity, because she didn't like.
Bryce, what did you just put in the chat?
So Jedi
Oh.
KV shared this on the Discord, and I wasn't sure what it was, and I couldn't click it with the sound because I'm here on
Well,
the
I'll
thing.
tell you what it is. It's definitely O.J. Simpson doing something.
Oh my God! Number one, are you guys? Before we play into this, are you aware of O.J. Simpson's Twitter presence?
He killed a guy, right?
I know that somebody sent him knife emojis, and he just went ballistic, sending them back, and just like,
Yes.
yeah, I did it.
Yes.
He's a psycho
So,
on Twitter.
Oof.
Yeah, but it's so weird because he's an actual murderer. He's obviously somebody that is a crazy person, but he still has that, like, you forget, or many people forget, that OJ was like a successful pitch man who was beloved by America. So I don't know what this is, but I'm dying to see this OJ clip. Play this
okay.
fucking OJ clip.
Supposedly,
All right,
it's
this
about-
is we're about out of time. God, this is the bad thing about happy hour. This is
Oh,
only
no.
an hour of it.
we did
okay.
start a few minutes late.
Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. OJ, take us out. Whoops. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Some replies were hidden by the tweet author.
Here we go.
Is that a thing you could do? Is
Yeah.
You can now.
Hit controls.
Yeah.
There you go. Click OK.
Just hit
don't
OK.
over-
Just hit OK.
just hit OK. Got it.
All right, click on it to turn this.
All right, there we go. Volume.
Got back from the golf course where I actually played pretty well.
Found the murderer.
Now it's back at home, back to the couch, and back to television. Listen, I've had so many people on my case asking me to watch some show called Tiger King. Well, yesterday I watched this show, And oh my God, is America in this bad a shape? I watched about six.
Wait, yeah, wait.
Simpson saying this.
What I would love to believe is he's referring specifically to the fact that America is watching a convicted murderer comment on the Tiger King.
Episodes of this show, and I couldn't even believe what I was looking at. White people! What's
true.
with you and wild
That one is
animals?
true.
Leave them animals alone. The show is crazy, but it's so crazy you kind of keep watching. One thing I will say,
Is he? Why is he wearing gloves?
Because
Of course.
Because number one, saved his ass the last time. Why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Number two, you know where the dismount is, right?
No, I don't.
He's got it. What would you imagine about Tiger King you want OJ's opinion on?
on Carol Baskin.
Whether or
that
not
bitch Carol Baskin.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that lady's husband is Tiger Shushimi right now. I'm just saying.
All right, I can't feel good about even another
my
second
God.
of this.
Not a doubt in his mind.
So wait a second.
Thank you, Jedi KV.
The husband disappears, I guess.
Hey,
Hey, husband.
you were not able to
You
finish
couldn't
the
make
whole
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, it's long enough now. We could just talk about it, and then we got to wrap up. But at the end of the second episode, the first episode is all about like tiger people. Are they crazy? Look at this. What? How touched must you be? Second episode. This dude's got like 1 billion wives, and he
Isn't that weird?
looks an awful lot like he's running a cult where he sculpts nubile young talent and gets them all titty jobs.
And here's how all of them like do some form of that. Yeah.
End of the second episode. Yeah, well, at least I'm not as weird as that lady who killed her husband and fed him to her tigers.
Smash cut.
End of
Episode 3.
episode. Episode 3 begins. They're like, yeah, let's talk about that. Here's an hour-long scathing indictment of Carol Baskin, who is running allegedly a tiger rescue, might have killed her husband and fed him
And
to
by the way,
tigers.
Bonnie, it goes for about 3/4 of the episode where you're like, all right, like, I don't know. It was a rich husband. The ex-wife and the kids of the husband are upset. They obviously think that she has some foul play involved. There's some weird stuff with the will where it's like, I don't know, maybe a lawyer who really wanted to stick his beak in, that could be it. And then there's one detail. There's like, they're tracing her movements the night where it all happens. And they drop at the very end of explaining everything. Oh, by the way, her brother works for the police force. And mysteriously at like 3:00 in the morning, her car broke down and her brother on the police force had to give her a ride home
On the night of the vanishing.
on the night of the vanishing.
Also, her brother on the police force didn't see the need to really pursue much of an investigation. End of story.
I mean, there was no definitive evidence. So, this is a land of laws and evidence. And frankly,
I just love that OJ's like, she did that shit.
All right.
With a gloved finger. Oh my God.
With that, I feel like we gotta call it. Thanks for joining us for the happy hour.
Hey,
we'll be back
by the
again
way,
tomorrow.
If the tiger shits, you must have quit.